The Senzo Meyiwa murder trial continues in the High Court in Pretoria. And as always, Linda Mnisi has been following proceedings for us. Linda, good afternoon to you. On a lunch break now, as is the usual routine of events when we are covering court. So Gezani Mangani, he is the photographer from the SAPS, and he would have been there during that in loco inspection that the court conducted. What's he been saying so far?
Well, he's been taking the court through the pictures that he took, and in there are measurements that he took, the distance between the main road and the entrance of the municipal building that we went to during that inspection in loco, but also some of the key observations really around that inspection in loco and the area in which we went to. It is important that, I mentioned that both the state as well as the defense seem to be on the same page when it comes to the observations of that inspection in loco. You'd recall that from yesterday, the talk has been that they would put on record what the observations were, and particularly because there's a dispute around the location where accused number one, Mnisi, this is now the alleged lookout man, where he claims he was assaulted. He says it was at the G spot, and Brigadier Bongani Gininda says, well, there was no assault. I met him at the entrance of the police station. So the state, before calling this photographer from the SAPS, putting on record its observation, and mainly this is what it had to say.
Accused number one mentioned that Sergeant Mukhola, Mapumulo, Ngamani, and traffic officers were present when he was assaulted. He's unable to say who assaulted him and how he was assaulted, as his face was covered in a plastic. Said about 14 police officers participated in the assault. Some were in uniform, some in civilian clothes, and some were Metro police officers. Paragraph 12. On 5 June 2020, the cars came through the same municipality gate and parked at more or less the same spot. Photos 8 to 11 refer. He was made to alight and placed at more or less the same spot as on 30 May 2020. He was made to sit and he was handcuffed from behind, but no leg irons. A plastic bag was put on him and he was assaulted by about 10 or less police officers.
You recall, Michelle, during the inspection in loco, Mnisi demonstrated to the court how he was allegedly assaulted, saying that he was handcuffed, he was placed on the ground, his head was covered. So there in that bite, Advocate Baloyi is detailing what is the version of Mnisi when he was allegedly taken to that particular spot. So obviously this is during the inspection in loco, where the court got to see what he then told the court was that it was a secluded area and that he was assaulted there by, of course, the number of police officers that are mentioned there by Advocate Baloyi. His lawyers seem to agree with what Advocate Baloyi say, except for the point around who and how he was assaulted. Take a listen.
The line that says who assaulted him and how. It starts with he is unable to say who assaulted him and how he was assaulted. He says he never made mention of the fact that he cannot say how he was assaulted.
So what does he want to put on record?
That annotation there that says he is unable to say how he was assaulted is wrongly captured.
Yeah, what does he want it to be captured? How does he want it to be captured?
He says he knows how he was assaulted.
So he knows
how he was assaulted. Yes.
And that's it. And who assaulted him?
Yes, he knows who assaulted him and how he was assaulted.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so the rest of the defense, Michelle, also had similar remarks, in the exception of the lawyer for accused number 5, that's Advocate Zandile Mshololo, who also went to draw the court's attention to, what she terms a private road along, that particular area. And then at a later stage, Michelle, she then also pointed out the 2 areas where the alleged assault took place. So it seems largely there is an agreement in terms of the observation. But of course, materially, there is a dispute about where exactly Mnisi was assaulted. And that is in relation to, of course, where he says was at the Gold Spot. But, of course, the issue around the assault is disputed because Brigadier Bongani Gininda says, I never assaulted him. I was never part of the people that assaulted him. In fact, I met him at the entrance of the police station, and it was merely impossible for him to be assaulted in an area where everybody could see. So at this point, because of these proceedings, the state is now leading the photographer in terms of the observations, the pictures that were taken, which are also not in dispute. All parties have agreed that they will be handed up to the court and will form part of the exhibit. This is one of the points that will be argued at the time of arguments. When that time comes for both parties to argue, it will be one of the points that both parties will touch on because it is indeed in dispute. So when the court resumes, we'll be hearing from the photographer who will still be going through all of those pictures and what he photographed during the inspection in loco.
Linda Mnisi, thanks very much indeed for that update.